So I will start bringing up the filmmakers one by one, and they can talk a little bit about their film. So our first filmmaker is Michael Cho. Michael Cho in the house.
Hi everybody, my name's Mike. It's too bad we couldn't see anything, huh? For the few of you that laughed, thank you, although you couldn't really see anything. I don't know where I want to start. I guess since we're talking about filmmaking, I'll talk about my little piece here first. I've always wanted to become a filmmaker. For you aspiring filmmakers out there, I would just say go out and do it. But the main thing was, for me, after I graduated college, I used to live in Hawaii. I moved over here. Initially, I was planning on going to grad school for filmmaking, but you know how the economy downturned. So I ended up working here full time. If you guys need tires, I'm the store manager at Willworks. I would rather have you call me for projects on film, but you know, if you need that, you can take advantage of that for the time being. So the way this came about, it was one of those nights. Me and my friends went out, and we were just having a good night. But my friend decides to wear a trench coat to a club, right? I mean, who does that? And this guy looks like Chester the Molester. Nobody's talking to us. We're not talking to anybody. There's nothing going on, right? So I go home restless. I just work 12 hours. I'm hammered. I'm half asleep. But I go into my laptop. I'm like, I had a dream. And then I'm, you know, searching at filmmaking and things like that. And I come across this competition called Interpretations. And it's about 4 lines. And I was like, oh, interesting, right? And then this is where I came up with the idea. I've always been into noirs, so I like to make, I'm not sure, you guys are all familiar with noirs, right? So I wanted to do something that's a noir in the beginning and in the end. This guy's wearing a trench coat, all of a sudden he flips it on and he starts dancing all over the place. But obviously it didn't have that effect too well. But the main thing was, that day, I made a few phone calls. I got a guy that's a photographer. It's his first time shooting in a DSLR, and I also got a guy. That does sound. He's still in school in Boston that did the sound for this. So you know, if you're out there to make films, you can get things put together and make it happen. And if you get a chance, try to watch it on your laptop with your lights down. Maybe it'll be a little funnier. But in any case, thank you again for holding this event. And thank you for having me here. That's it.
Thank you, Michael, for that. Our next filmmaker is Jason Yu. So please help me welcome Jason Yu.
Hi, Ian. I don't think you've seen me before, but
Hipstar.
Yeah, Hipstar. Do you guys all know what it was about? Hipsters? Okay. Any in the house? Okay, so yeah, I got into filmmaking because I had no real talent. As a kid, I was never good at sports or games, or I was never, athletic or smart, and I had no skills. But one thing I was good at that I thought I was good at is making up things. So making up things, I think the best way to do it is tell stories with it. So that's how I got into film. And then 2 things that I'm really passionate about is arts and filmmaking and being Asian American. And I'm really proud to be doing both. So thanks for being out here. And you know, thanks for supporting these great events, you know, from San Jose, but also CAM. I encourage you to stay involved by attending the events and you know, events, donation, but just attending is really great. Being a member, you know, you get even more benefits, so continue to do that. Okay, something about Hipstar. The reason it came about was because I wasn't really sure what a hipster was at first, so I did some research, so I was like, okay, what makes a hipster a hipster? So the number one thing was tight pants. So I'm like, all right, I gotta make, you know, find tight pants. So so that was the main focus, and then I found all these other things. So that's what the montage is all about. And then hip star, just hipster, hip star. So that's what it is. And we're playing with the sequel title, Creep Star, because we're just going to make a series of it, maybe. So I'd like to give a special shout out to the crew and cast. If you guys can stand up, they're here, they're back right over there, So yeah, without them, it could have been made. So filmmaking is like a great, I guess, microcosm of community because it takes a lot of people to do it and a lot of coordination. But also it's a lot of fun, so I encourage you to continue to support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jason. Next we have Chauncey Shu. Chauncey Shu.
Thanks. So I'm Chauncey. It's not actually supposed to be that dark, but initially this film was gonna be a lot more homemade, but the cool story is that once we got the word out, like initially it was just 5 of us that were gonna make this film, people started to just say like yes to our questions, and we ended up in a really cool green screen space at Kerner Optica, and they let us use it for free, and like we were able to be in the car and like light it up properly. And we got a child actor in, and she was like wonderful, and she like did like 8-hour work days. Ended up being like a 3-day shoot, and it was like the most tedious thing that we've ever done. But it was just like a lot of fun working with everybody. But thanks.
Thank you, Chauncey. Next we have Jessica Sislin.
Thanks. I know everyone's complaining about how dark it was, but could you guys tell what the ending of my film was? Okay. Basically, the guy walks into the room, and instead of finding a dead body, he finds nothing in the room except the clothes of the people who used to be in the room. But you don't know what happened to the people in the room. So anyway, one reason I got into filmmaking was I found it as a kind of act of rebellion, because as someone who's Asian, I think your parents expected you to go into medical field or dental or engineering, and I wanted to express myself and also to rebel. And I think this film kind of continues my rebellion in that when I was in film school, one big challenge I faced was the professors would take one look at me and immediately decide that the film they want me to make has to do with oppressed Filipino women. And that pissed me off because it's like, I feel like I should be able to make whatever I want. And I have made films about Filipino women, and I will continue to make films about Filipino women. But for this contest, I wanted to just have fun and do something that you wouldn't expect from someone, Filipino woman. And I guess, let's see, the concept of the film was I wanted to do something kind of voyeuristic about where you see other people having this conversation. So thanks for coming out.
I think what you said was really important about how we need female API filmmakers out there, and another thing is we're deconstructing that image of Asians just going into the medical field, which is nice. I mean, we need Asians in the medical field, but we also need Asians in the art world too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, our next filmmaker is Willis Lai, so please give me a big hand. Welcome Willis Lai on stage.
Good evening, everybody. Just a show of hands, was anyone able to relate to the traditional setting in my house, with all the calligraphy, the shrine, the figures? Anyone have that kind of setting? Okay, a few hands. So you guys flinched too when you saw the feather duster coming at you. And so this is my house, very traditional, your typical Asian household. So how this film got started was really, I was actually thinking back the beginning of my film career, and how your parents would always have some sort of disagreement with you with the choices that you make, and they were pretty shocked when they heard that I was a filmmaker. They were like, no doctor, no lawyer, not even an accountant. So, like Jessica, I was also the rebellious type. But as time goes on, they were they started to slowly accept the choice that I made and started to show a lot of support over the year. And so in this film, I like my characters, each of them had made a choice, and there are always people who will always be there to support you. And so the message of this film really is to tell not just filmmakers, but to everybody that no matter what you do, what choices you make, ultimately your friends, your families, especially your parents, will always be your pillar of support. So yeah, thank you.
Family is very important for support. Of course, we know that because we're Asian. Next, Howard Liu.
So for mine, I know it's a little cliche, kind of the typical boy-girl drama. What I wanted to go with this, I guess I kind of did what a lot of filmmakers tend to do and kind of take it off our own personal experiences. And for this, the kind of message I was kind of getting across was sometimes we let a good thing get away, and so we try to do what we can to hold on to that memory, hoping that someday we might get a second chance. But even if in the future that paths cross, you may never get that second chance again. And that's what I was going for with that, just a little bit of being realistic. So my story, as far as how I came to love film so much, it started out in high school. It was, I think, my sophomore year. For our final project, one of my friends, me and I, we decided to go make a video. And we just went completely over the top with it. Our classmates loved it, our teachers loved it. And from there, any chance we got during high school, we just kept making videos over and over again. And every time, like, people always tell us that, it's funny, you guys are good, like, you should keep going. But moving on, I actually spent a couple of years here at De Anza studying film. Yeah, to De Anza people. But kind of like what Willis touched on, I did not get a lot of support about it when I told people I want to do film. My family especially, they kind of just thought I was being unrealistic. And then when I would meet new people, like, true story, like, they would ask me, so what do you want to major in? Like, what do you want to study in film? I mean, in the future. And I would tell them, I want to study film. And one of the first things that they would tell me is, man, film, that's a hard industry to get into. Especially, you're Asian. Like, you don't really see a lot of Asian people in the industry, so it's gonna be really hard for you. So really, the more I heard that, I got discouraged. But really not too long ago, maybe about a year and a half ago, I came up, my friends showed me some videos online, and how many people here are Wong Fu fans? Yeah, a couple. So my friends showed me their videos, and I watched their videos, and I thought, hey, these guys are making a name for themselves, and they're like me, just they're kind of messing around at first, just regular, average guys. And I thought, if these people can do it, why can't I? And why should I let other people tell me that I can't? And so, here I am. I just want to say, like, if you have a passion for something, especially like filmmakers out there, don't let anyone tell you you can't do it. Definitely, get your visions out, express yourselves. It's all about the storytelling. And I hope anyone that's out there who would like to make films, that you go ahead and go pursue that. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. Our next filmmaker is David Nguyen. Oh, he's not here, JK.
So I'm actually, again, hello. Obviously I'm not David. I actually just received word from David not too long ago. He actually can't make it tonight. He's actually got stuck in San Francisco and couldn't make it. So I know. So I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about David. He was actually probably one of the youngest out of all of us that were gonna be here today. He's actually only 17 years old. And he's a senior over at Independence High School. Yep, sorry. I'm not sure where he would have probably described what he was going for with this. I would have loved to tell you if I knew. But yeah, he really wanted to be here. He was really excited that this was happening, and I'm sure he would have loved to share his story about his passions for filmmaking. But obviously in the programs, we have a website to his YouTube page. If you'd like to see more of his work, you can go ahead and do that. And I'm sure he would really appreciate that too.